Good morning.
Good morning.
It's episode 74.
I don't have any St. Patrick's Day stuff on because then my green screen won't work. But happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
If you're Irish.
I am Irish.
Are you a leprechaun?
I am a leprechaun.
I'm very low percent British Isles, so I don't think I'm allowed to participate.
Oh, I'm like Shetland Islands and like McDougal House and like that whole area. We just inbred all the way across on both sides of my family.
If my people are good at anything, it's inbreeding.
So. My maiden name is Higginson. So like,
wow.
It literally, this Viking raider killed this other like Viking lord or whatever they're called. And his name was Higgins. And then he raped and married his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And
pretty normal.
Gave himself the new name Higgins' son and became like lord and ruler over the land.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Very, very Viking. So
the good old days.
Yep. You're mine. This is mine. It's all mine or you're dead.
Okay, this is a Not Safe for Work podcast, everybody. Did you know? I knew. Jana kind of knows. I don't know if we have to say that every time, but I feel like we should. So we're going to keep doing it.
Sorry, I should have trigger warned everyone. Oops.
For the R word.
For the R word. I do apologize to anybody that I affected. That was bad form.
Mm-hmm. We still have sponsors.
We still have sponsors. Do you want me to do shout outs or sponsors first?
We'll let people like chime in. I think there's only
trickle in.
Yeah. Val kindly offered the code #ShitHappens for $5 off the crypto panel at TNA.com. I get messages every week. How do I test? Where do I test? We definitely have a episode about like an FAQ, but for a bountiful savings off your crypto panel, use code #ShitHappens.
And that works if you order 5, if you order 10 on the same sheet, you still get 5 off each. Do it.
And everybody's driving to Tinley.
Everyone's driving to Tinley.
This guy.
Mr. Shane Kelley, the OG sponsor of the Hold Back Rack podcast, is at Tinley. I think he's arrived. He has arrived, everyone. He will be at Great Balls of Friar table. So, and he has invited you. Please come up to him, get a selfie with him, say hi, say, that you follow him or where you've seen him from. Just definitely, he's very approachable. So make sure you guys do that and stop
by gentle.
His booth. And if he has anything you're looking for, make sure you buy from Shane Kelley.
Yeah, if you want to like a preview, video is like a preview of some of the stuff he's taking. Not everything, but a good bit.
A good idea of what he has on his table.
Ooh, I like that one.
That one's real nice.
They're cool. The blackhead GHI.
I'll take them.
So check them out at Tinley. Check them out on Morph Market and anywhere Shane Kelley's want to be.
Yeah, and if you're subscribed to us but not Shane Kelley, what are you doing?
You're drunk. You're drunk. Please go home.
Give your keys to someone else.
Look how fluffy this is. This is impressive.
It's very, very fluffy. Okay, so our next sponsor is Powerhouse Pythons. There has been a delay in getting the Go for Cocoa into the US, but he says that he expects it next week. And it was promised in March. So I feel like we're still in that time window, but he's thinking next week and it was supposed to be this week. And then also he has an exciting announcement that his wife and him are expecting their first baby at the end of the year.
Congratulations.
So a little Powerhouse baby. Please send them all the congrats and sticky dust. This has been a journey for them. And so this is like super extra exciting news to hear. So congratulations. And he will be posting once he has that Go for Cocoa. And then he'll also be having his first clutches start to drop in the next 2 weeks. And then Stoneage Ball Python, also a sponsor of the Holdback Rack and also local to me. is still doing his sensor push giveaway. So make sure that you have head over to Instagram to his viral Instagram account, and it'll tell you where to go to subscribe to his reptile industry only content. And so you have to follow that Instagram page, and it's the ones with the underscrolls. And then once it hits 1,300, he will be doing this giveaway, and he has a couple lined up. So he has to finish one before he can start the next. So let's get this thing moving, guys.
I know. What the heck? All right, Jana, can you give me some shout outs? That's what I need for my day.
What I need. Aurelio was here first. Cuddle Time Critters.
He said his name is AJ. So if you don't want to pronounce
AJ.
his name,
AJ, I'll try to remember that.
He said that just for you. He's like,
oh,
hey, I know Jana struggles.
I struggle with everything. You're so nice. And then
he's very considerate.
Mr. Podcast Garbage, the new Siskel and Ebert of the ball python world. He has his new logo up. We're still being promised terrible mean reviews, but I've yet to see it, Will, so I'm disappointed in you. And then another sponsor, Chris, is here. He's listening and getting ready for Gettysburg. He will be in Gettysburg this weekend, not Tinley. So if you are in the area, make sure you see him. And he's listening. Hello. Multiplayer Morse. Slinky Fox.
That's new.
That's new. Bohemian Xotics, Lindsay, Tradesman, Lori Gray. They're also a sponsor. Marshall, how you doing, Marshall? Texas Kid, Northwest Picks. That's my tattoo artist. I got some shading done yesterday. Everybody, how awesome does it look?
It looks good.
Anyway, she's fucking awesome, guys. And hopefully she's going to be getting into breeding Samboas, so that'll be fun. Richard, John Feely, Silent Hill, RC, Danelle.
Hi.
Supreme Geckos, Kelsey
Hi,
DS, PJ, AJ again. Look, I remembered. I think that's most of you. So welcome. Happy Friday.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably
Patrick's Day.
Getting ready for Tinley or driving to Tinley or distracted about a show or something. So it's probably not going to be like a huge crowd. That's okay. We're having fun, Jana. Did you know?
Oh, yeah. So much fun. Life is the treadmill of fun.
So I was on 2 lives over the weekend. Did you know that?
What? 2? I only knew about one of them.
What's
crazy. The other one?
Who wants to talk to me this much? So I was on an Instagram live.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't see
with
that
Reptile Nerd Radio.
Oh, fun.
We mostly talked about retics and how they're too big to be mass produced. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think you should have to have a license or take a class or something.
Or just choose not to breed them. You know,
well, especially because the dwarf retics, I think the name dwarf is so misleading to the everyday person that they don't think that they understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because retics are cool. So you don't want to be like, fuck you guys and what you like. But then they get really big, even dwarfs. So it is an ethical concern there that we mostly covered.
Concur, yeah.
And then I was on with Jared at Forward Motion. And PJ said I was happy during this one. So
you were so happy and you were like lighthearted. It was so weird.
So much more interesting at night. Like,
or it just proves that she just is so irritated by my presence that she can't be happy, because she was so happy like her whole interview with him, and I'm like feeling a complex over here.
It's literally the time of day. My brain works better after, as we get closer to nighttime, and my brain is actually most effective at 1 a.m. turns out. So like it's just a constant struggle of like society wants you to be one way and you're wired a different way. So I'm a mean old piece of shit in the morning.
So what I'm hearing, guys, is that there might be a new time for Hold Back Rack.
I mean,
get back to you on that.
Maybe there can be. It's just like Alex might be here. I mean, he obviously would be here at night.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't do a Friday night slot because how many fucking podcasts are on Friday night? 5?
All of them. We'll do it on a night no one else is doing. I don't need to compete.
There's not one
for my ego. There's not one?
Every night is taken.
Who does Wednesday?
Warfel.
Oh, okay. And then Thursday?
Somebody else. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name.
Okay. Well, we'll chat about it, girls.
I swear to God, there's a live every day.
Yeah.
I swear. So
those nighttime drinks. Do they really want to see? There's probably a few that in the no video days that are us drinking.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I'm not sloppy drunk. So
Herp Collectors is Thursday. That's who I was trying to think of.
Okay, yeah, him also on Thursday.
Oh yeah, Jana late at night.
I don't know. It just depends on like your school schedule or whatever. Life schedule. I would like it to be not on Friday. It can't be Friday nights for us because we have shows. So I would prefer it not be on Friday in general because it's already sort of like a rush to finish before our Friday show.
Yeah. So finals for this term are next week, and I think Tuesday and Wednesday are my finals, and then my new semester doesn't start till April 1st, and I'm just doing online classes this term, so we could pick whatever we want.
All right. I don't know what day who we want to compete with.
Yeah. Comment down below what night you think we should.
I mean, Chris is going through it. Tuesday's proper royals and bullshit. Friday is also bullshit. Sometimes Sunday. There's just a ton. It's like
2 to 3 lives is a slow day. Whoa, guys.
I know, what the fuck.
Well, I'd want to do it at 7:30, and that's way late for you. Isn't that 10?
Right, it wouldn't be that. I'd have to sleep in or whatever.
It's gonna be 10 to midnight. That's pretty brutal for you.
Right. I mean, that's when my brain is at peak, but I'm trying to condition my brain to get up to take my kid to school instead of never taking him to school ever again, which is what I want to do. All right, let's talk about Oregon, Jana.
Oh, Oregon.
Man.
It's a doozy, guys. So they had their meeting at the Capitol building, and basically they just didn't let anybody who didn't want the bill speak. And so now they're needing us to go and submit testimony because nobody's testimony was heard at the actual hearing. And so the message is loudly for the bill passing, and the people who are loudly against it are being silenced. So if you are Pacific Northwest and this affects you, please make sure that you send in your testimony so that our voices can be heard as well. Because I know if this passes, that's half my shows of the year. So that's a big deal. So this is really important, guys. And then once a state gets this through, then it's going to make it a lot easier for other states to get it through. And we are seeing a trend in that direction of trying to get this animal program ban across the country.
14 million
so if we don't try to
time.
stop it now, and it may not be affecting you now, but if we don't do a good job, then it's going to have a cascading effect across the country.
Yes. And there's a couple other updates, but this is the one that was the most, oh no, we got fucked. Because people were timed out of speaking in opposition to the bill. And only really people who were for the bill got it.
Brian thinks we should compete with him on a Tuesday night. I'm good. I don't feel like I need to embarrass myself like that, but thanks.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know the right time slot. It literally probably doesn't matter because she'll compete with somebody, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if I'm like a nicer person at night, Jan. You're just gonna have to suck it up and feel me be so mean and grumpy.
Oh, I don't even hear it when you're mean anymore.
Okay, good.
Angel Caro, you're local, right? Pacific Northwest, like Tacoma area. I feel like I've seen him at shows.
So check out those 2 lives I was on if anybody cares. I guess I didn't finish up that conversation. And check out US Arc because we have to do work. We got work to do, boys and girls.
Yep.
All right. Are you ready?
Never ready. Go.
It's too bad I'm like a little bit sleepy, so I don't know how good this is going to end up being. But
we just need to like inject you with Red Bull, right? Right in the deltoid.
I don't know what I need. I need like not spring break. Because it's spring break for Alex, so I'm like, I don't know, staying up and being confused and
you're being back to your old cave woman days.
Oh fuck yeah, I love it. So, you know, women and female snakes are beautiful, complex flowers. We're like an onion. There's so many layers, right? So there's a lot of stuff to talk about with female physiology, biology, and reproductive ecology. It would have been what I would want my PhD to have been in. It's like the most exciting thing to think about to me. I'm weird. Okay. So I had a very narrow topic. I ended up like squeezing it down to just like a little
squeezing it down. She kangled it down, everybody.
A little fun segment. And if people like this, we can talk about more of the ecology and physiology aspects. But I don't know. Some people like these things, and some people don't. And so some of them don't do that well, and so they take a lot of time to produce. I have no idea if they're worth doing, but I do them because I want to. But if this is fun, we'll keep going. So long ago, when I was a wee lass in the villages of West Virginia, we had 2 sort of like hobby level designations for like what female snakes do: ovoviviparous, which I'm missing a letter here, but that's okay, and oviparous, so live birth and laying eggs. And that was the difference. And ovoviviparous was the retention of eggs in the female's body, but the yolk was the primary source of nutrition. And she just held the eggs. She made the eggs and then held the eggs internally, and then they hatched as live birth. And then obviously the more standard laying eggs, right?
Okay, so the long O word is live birth, and the short O word is eggs. Birthing.
Right, garter snake, corn snakes.
Got it.
Right.
I'm with it. Go ahead. I'm gonna ace this exam.
So I know nobody can read this, so I'm gonna read it to you. But this is from Bassi et al. 2018. This is a coral snake, pair of ovaries, oviducts, and vagina on this side. So here's the right ovary. In most snakes, the right one is at least slightly bigger than the left one, and in some clades, the left one has completely disappeared. So they're like prioritizing one and reducing the other so that they like sit in a cylindrical body.
Okay.
So this is the right side. It's obviously bigger than the left side. It is interesting. So like there was a long time where they were fighting over whether or not the structure that holds ovulated eggs should be called a uterus or not. And in this paper, they do call it a uterus. So here's like the 2 horns of a uterus, which would be homologous to the mammal condition, and an actual vagina. They gave it the name vagina, which is, different.
Yeah.
So here, like this,
I thought it already had a name. I thought it was the cloaca.
Well, the cloaca is the multi-purpose hole, so the vagina would dump into that hole.
Would be the attachment to that hole. Okay, got it.
So let's go. So down. Let's go down. So that you see all these little follicles, and here's obviously big follicles.
Mm-hmm.
So they will be developed in the ovary in this structure and then ovulated into the uterus.
Okay.
for prep. So like adding shells or holding them if they're like a live bearing animal. So even like a ball python that develops them up here, pushes them down, shells them, and then develops them a little bit more. That's why like ball pythons will go sit on the heat or whatever.
Yeah,
they're actually doing like a
pre-incubating.
Pre-incubation. That's right.
Yes. They do like half the incubation and then half on the outside.
Mm-hmm. The thing that's confusing to me is this part. Okay, so here's a boa that was euthanized because it had arenavirus, and it was gravid with a single neonate that was dead at euthanasia, but they got a really cool like CT scan, so they got to see the position of the neonate relative to follicles. So there are big follicles up here, but there's even more follicles really close to the neonate. So like this structure here actually grows after and during ovulation. So like it can be quite small, but then it needs to fill up with all of this. So the whole thing grows to get ready and then contracts again. And it's a very thin membrane. It's not like and we'll look at some mammalian placenta and uteruses. There's not like a thick muscular structure. It's a very thin membrane. So they're using the muscles of their body for contractions, not necessarily the muscles of the uterus itself. Jana knows all about that.
Yep.
And this is from Gasho et al. 2020. It was a cool paper because you get like this is a preserved coral snake. You get like a recently culled, you get CT scans of the exact position of the baby in the body. And this snake had arenavirus infection, but did not have severe IBD, but did have a severe bacterial infection that was causing it to be sick and fatty liver disease, even though it wasn't that fat. So like this amount of fat is too much fat. It looks not that bad, too fat. Actually, it was suffering from liver deterioration due to being just a little bit fat. So don't keep your boas fat or any other snake's fat because they'll die. Oh my God. But what's this, Jana? Viviparous. So there's so many placentas actually. It's wild.
All the placentas. I love this placenta talk. All the boys are going to run away.
That's why I named it Placenta Wars. So I was like, we're actually
rip the Band-Aid off.
Placentas. So this is us. We have the discoid kind, a single big placenta that's fetal cells intruding into maternal cells. And this is your sort of source of capillary diffusion, is they get really close together and they have a party. And it actually like intrudes into the maternal uterus and tells it to get back so that the capillaries can be really close together. But there's other kinds. It's actually real fun. There's a whole flavor town of different mammalian placenta. There's a cotyledonary, which is like sheep and goats and cows or ruminants. And then the horses have diffuse, which is like all the way around the whole uterus, a small amount of implantation. And then the carnivores, they end up doing like a little band. Which is, I didn't know that until I read. I kind of knew that this is what goat ones look like because I bred goats, and obviously I know what this one looks like.
Born on your farm,
but there's different kinds. And so the thinking was ovoviviparous was an internally reserved egg where the yolk was the primary source of nutrition. Oviparous was laying eggs, and viviparous was live birth with the nutrition coming from the mother through the placenta, right?
Okay.
And then motherfucker. So like lesotrophic is nutrition from the yolk. But then the more they looked at snakes, they were like, oh yeah, they're just retaining yolk. They're like, there's a lot of transfer between the mommies and the babies. We got urea out, we got nutrient transport in, CO2 out, O2 in. Calcium becomes super important because in a snake that's born from an egg with a shell, most not most, but a large percentage of the calcium that baby needs to grow was actually implanted into the shell. That's what the shell gets like thinner and detaches as the egg goes along in egg-laying species, because the baby is actually stealing calcium from the shell. You want to read that?
I do. AJ says, having 5 kids and even catching my last son in a home birth, I am not frightened by placentas. And I just want to say,
that's a real man.
This is a real man. These are the real heroes out there, just getting in there with the blood and the mucus and all of it, and just catching like, oh, yeah, you're welcome anytime. That's rad as fuck.
So then the question is like, does this designation, oops, wrong way, count? Does this one count? Are they really just holding the yolk if all of the transfer is happening? And so people were arguing, there's like 50 years of people arguing in the scientific literature. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, I swear they're ovoviviparous. And they're like, no, it's a placenta. Even if it's not like as, structured as we think of it in a mammal, if they're like adhering to the surface and doing exchange, it counts. So they argued for 50 years. And then everybody eventually gave up and was like, fine, they're viviparous. About 20 years ago.
It's like a yolk placenta hybrid.
Right. The other problem
is literally like the fusion of both. Yes.
Yeah. So like at this point, it's okay to call it a uterus, call it a vagina, and call it viviparous in all of the squamates that do live birth, because they're doing it. They at the very least have to do oxygen and CO2 exchange, even if they give 100% yolk to the egg. So the mother has to do it. So there's a site of oxygen and CO2 exchange where the baby's adhering to the mother's, uterus side. So they're like, that counts for the standards of placenta. So you can't make this weird false designation and hold them to like the mammal standard. Guess what skinks are doing though? They're taking it to the next level. Eutherian is like the placental mammals. So there's this little guy. This is Evan's water skink. This is from Blackburn and Flemming 2012. It looks cute. It looks like a normal skink. Pretty basic, right? Wrong. Nobody reads, so fuck you. I don't read. So here's the TLDR. They have such small eggs. They're 1 millimeter. They basically have no yolk at all. Maybe a teeny bit, just like a residual amount. The fetal tissue actually invades maternal tissue instead of just like adhering to the side of the oviduct.
It's almost parasitic.
I have kids. I know what it's like.
So you're saying any pregnancy is parasitic?
Yeah. The penetrating tissue undergoes hypertrophy and hyperplasia, giving rise to sheets of epithelial shells that invade beneath the uterine epithelia and stripping it away. Doesn't that sound parasitic to you?
Sounds bad.
And then the fetus gets most of its nutrition from the mother. That's from Blackburn and Flemming 2012. That's a fucking placenta right there. Last time I checked, almost no nutrition. The skink is basically doing it. It's going on the whole dog. So like it's fair to give it, the cool mammalian title of viviparous at this point, because wow, what a parasite. This skink is from Africa. So why do they do this, Jana? Why? What's the whole point?
I don't know.
It seems like it's like an egg, right? You have a little parasite.
Like all the same, and then it comes out their whole. So who cares, right?
Well, I mean, why even be viviparous instead of just laying eggs? Isn't that easier? Just like drop some eggs and run away, right? Okay, let's look at this stupid chart. Everybody who's ever been in an ecology class has seen it. This is the R versus K selected species. So this is like percentage of maximum lifespan and number of survivors in a logarithmic scale. So humans, even though we have high like infant mortality, we have a relatively high survivorship. And then as we get old, we die. We mostly make it to adulthood and die. Elephants are like that. Certain kinds of trees are like that. And then this one is like crabs, or in this case, some sort of shellfish. They blast out 100,000 eggs on 100,000 sperm, and some of them get together and most of them float around and get eaten. And that's the end of that. So most of them die right away at the beginning. And then some of them persist to adulthood. And then, most animals sort of fall in between somewhere. So snakes do that. But you can sort of bump up where you are in the like K selected versus R selected survivorship curve based on like how much you put into your babies. So if you're like, man, I'm gonna like take care of my eggs inside of my body, I'm gonna thermoregulate them inside of my body to increase the survival of the eggs, you're tending towards a K selection.
You're blasting some people to the past and they're feeling like they're sitting in a college class listening to their professor. You're welcome.
Yeah, this is like I don't know, ecology 101 or whatever. You get this in like your basic
biology class.
But snakes are like, and all squamates, so and lizards too, are modulating between these two modalities, depend on like pressure in their environment. So maybe they need to take care of their babies more and have less, or take care of their babies less and have more. So that's what they're doing when they choose to become viviparous. They're responding to some sort of pressure. What's the pressure? It actually turns out it's cold. That's like, this is from Zeman et al. 2022. Viviparity is strongly associated with cold climates at both species and assemblage levels, despite the prevalence of viviparity in some warm climates. So even the viviparous species that exist in warm climates probably evolved that way, either because they had a montane period or they were a temperate species that then migrated back down again and then retained viviparity.
AJ has a question. Or are you
K selected would be less babies, higher survivorship, more of them make it to adulthood. And then R selection is million babies, very few make it to adulthood. They're just going for the numbers game. And then in between is in between, like a mid amount of babies and a mid amount of survivorship. Questions are good.
I thought he was asking if there's less babies with K.
I just said that. So less babies, more survivorship, more babies, less survivorship.
Sorry, it was too complicated. I just needed a yes or a no. Lots of words being thrown at Jana's brain. Should have eaten my Wheaties.
Well, you can slow me down if it's too much, because that's what the whole point of the podcast is.
I did.
Okay, good. So that means squamates somewhere are entering a cold climate, and because they lay eggs that need to be kept warm to go to maturity and develop into a baby squamate, they are using the mother's body as like a de facto incubator machine, because she can, find just the perfect spot to the little sunbeam to go get to warm up when it's 60 degrees outside. But if she were to sit in the sunbeam, it would be 75. She can extend the season that these, ectotherms is one way to call them, but they're really more like, they're dependent on outside temperatures, but they do stuff to manage it. So that's a different word. Poikilotherms, that's what that word means. So it's a strategy for that, but it has huge maternal costs because she has to take care of them little shits, feed them, give them air, process their urea, gross, with her own body.
And she's keeping them warm, so she's probably burning a lot of fat to do that.
Right. She's running to go get warm, and then she has to like run back. So she has like predator risks, and she has to do all this shit for them. And they're not even respectful. I want Pokemon cards at the store.
I want
after pony. She did all that shit for them. And a lot of them do like post parturition care. So like rattlesnakes are a great example. They'll like give birth and they're still babysitting them little shits while they wait for them to like absorb their yolk, waiting for them to shed and waiting for them to even decide to disperse. They're just hanging out. They stay in the postnatal site and just protect them while they figure their shit out, because they already did all that work and they only breed like every 3 or 4 years in some localities because it's too cold and it's too hard to find enough food. They might eat like 3 squirrels a year, and so they can only breed every 3 or 4 years. So they need to take care of what they have. So this is like a temperature dependent solution to an ectotherms problem. And rattlesnakes are hot, by the way, in case you're wondering. My opinion's holy mackerel. This is a crazy chart that I know you can't read, so I'm going to read it to you. Purple, beautiful purple, is oviparous. Red is viviparous. And these are squamate clades. So here's snakes, serpentes, iguana, inguimorpha, Lacertiae.
What's inguimorpha?
Like abronia. Lizards.
Thank you.
Other kinds of lizards.
Yeah, like really dumb it down like I'm 5.
Here's skinks, Ginkodea, and Geckoda. So Pyron and Burbank went and it was like, why are there so many viviparous lineages in squamates? And they're like, let's like put them all together. They're all over the place. So like they're like squamates might have viviparity as like a plesiomorphy, because they go all the way back in the fossil record.
Plesiomorphy?
A basal trait, an ancient trait. So it might be something that they did all along a long time ago.
Okay.
And then they've also seen reversals where they will be egg-laying, switch to viviparous, and then switch back in the fossil record in a particular lineage. Like if you don't go too far down the rabbit hole like that skink did, you can technically go back. You don't necessarily lose the ability to deposit calcium and deposit eggs. Isn't that fucking crazy?
No, Lori, she is not. And it's so far beyond English that I don't even know how to ask the right questions to get it dumbed down for us. I apologize.
All right, wait.
Seriously failing.
I can repeat.
Okay,
anything.
Don't repeat anything that you just said, but give it to us on like high school level English.
This is high school level English.
So okay. Wait, let me try and you can clean it up when I mess it up. Okay. So they have like a ancient gene that allows them to be the ones that have the eggs in live bear, right? Have the eggs inside in live bear?
I don't know if it's a gene or like a set of genes.
Okay. And if you look down their lineage, they have shown that they can do either depending on the living situations that they're in. So they're adaptable to each.
Yes. And they can reverse.
So they reverse between the two. So that means that the whole species could just be like, well, global warming, we're not going to do this anymore because we can just shit those things out. They're good to go,
so they become,
and it's less resources for us.
Right. They become R-selected. They'll be like, let's go. It's warm. R-select, go. And so they'll be like, blast out numbers because that's easier. And then if it gets cold, they'll be like, we need a K-select because that's the only way to rock this party currently. And so they will, because being a viviparous squamate is actually like extremely dangerous for the species. They have more speciation events and also more extinction events. Like the whole species goes extinct more often because it's actually like a very risky move. Like you're hedging all your bets on these females, and like stochastic events that like knock out a couple of females can absolutely annihilate these sort of like where the females are so important to the whole species. Just, and then you're like, oh. But the things that just like drop eggs out of their butthole while they're just floating around, barely even paying attention, they'll live forever because they don't have to. They can just blast out some more.
When they have to incubate them inside their body, one wrong move and everybody's dead. Or she didn't get that third squirrel that year, so everybody's dead.
Right, and that's why I mean, let's have like an internal honesty thing. Like it adapts to cold climate, but it makes you very fragile. So like rattlesnakes do really poorly in North America because they can't blast out babies every 10 minutes. They have to do it a certain way. And so we will probably lose rattlesnakes in the whole continent in 500 years because we're not very nice to them. But, you know, black rat snake does better. But there are other ones where like they're probably doing it not for temperature reasons, but for like lifestyle reasons, like garter snakes. Why are they viviparous? Because they are like in really warm places. It probably has something to do with like the habitat. Since they live on the edge of riparian areas, it's hard to warm up or lay eggs successfully and have them come to maturation. So like if you chose to try to be viviparous, you could just keep your eggs from flooding. It might have something to do with that too. But they're also very, cold tolerant also. So they probably played into it. But so those ones might be more successful than rattlesnakes, which are these like, the females need to be really old and then they rarely breed. Right.
So AJ's question of assuming this switch is happening because of environmental issues, you're saying that temperature is a factor, but also there could be other factors at play.
Like, oh yeah. Like
weather.
This is a whole other podcast, which is like the cost benefit analysis of a reproductive strategy for an animal. It's actually really complicated because there's all kinds of stuff where you're like, oh, well, like this
the types of predators, the types of
like this food is available at this time. So it doesn't matter if it would be better for me to have bigger babies. They won't have any food. So I need them to be small to eat geckos at this time when they're hatched or born.
Or toads at this time.
Right. Or they need to be monstrous because the only food is like a seabird baby. So like when that hatches, that's the only food for the whole year. So they need to like come out of the eggs and be huge. And there's other like sexual, pressures, like in snakes that do male combat, being like a big male is like a good strategy because you're better at male combat. So the sizes of the individual switch. So that's why like rattlesnakes, or certain kinds of rattlesnakes males are almost as big as females, and king snakes are bigger than female kings because they do male combat. So that would make you want to maybe put different input into your babies if the only way to get your sons to be good at doing the between the sheets dance is having to be really big when they go to breed. Different pressures. But looks like viviparity is like very highly correlated with cool temperature. I just want to know I didn't even Google it, but which gecko is viviparous? That's what I want to know today. Iguanas. There's a viviparous iguanas. Fun with diapsids. So like the whole group, going back to like, is it a plesiomorphy or not? Obviously, this is an ichthyosaur with its little pups.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, totally.
So
what she said, guys, like, duh. I have no idea what you fucking just said, Jessica.
Which part?
All the words. Okay. Obviously, this is a what?
So a long time ago, there were aquatic reptiles.
Is that like a platypus or something?
Jesus Christ. A long time ago, there were aquatic reptiles. Remember Jurassic Park? There's like a pliosaur.
Okay, yes.
A mosasaurus, right? Remember? In Jurassic World, I mean. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, imagine that. Just not that, because that movie's stupid. But we had all these aquatic reptiles.
All right, guys. I quit. I gotta go now. Like, I can't, guys. It's just kidding.
We can get through this together. Obviously the chat's probably like, what the fuck is going on too? So like, ask the questions. So we had all these aquatic
I was
reptiles.
talking about you insulting Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is fine. Jurassic World.
Oh, okay. We can be friends.
Yeah, Jurassic Park is fine. But like Jurassic World, I watched it in the movie theater, and when like the raptor winked at the T-Rex at the end, I was like, this is the stupidest fucking movie of my entire life. I've never wanted to die more. Sorry. Okay. Focus. So diapsids, so they have 2 holes in their skulls. So that's how we like.
Wait. So you still haven't translated what a diapsis is?
I'm saying they have 2 holes in their skulls. They're reptiles with 2 holes in their skulls.
No, but what's their like common name?
Turtle, alligator, snake, lizard,
ichthyosaur. So all of those things.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, turtles might not be in diapsids or whatever, and then other reptile groups have different numbers of holes, and some of them lost their holes, but we like lump them together.
Now you have my attention. We're talking holes. All right, I can ace this.
So the whole point is that like being viviparous is something this whole group is good at, because here's a fossil record of another diapsid who became aquatic and was like, let's go. I'm going to have little pups. And here's like the actual fossil with the pup sticking out after it died, maybe in labor, who knows, or from like a slide. And we have in the fossil record Cretaceous lizards that are viviparous. So that's at least, 65 million years ago. So this is, it's like a basal thing. So that's why they keep doing it. Is it maybe it's a thing that's like a thing that they can choose to do. But what's interesting is they do it differently. Like some of them will form the placenta with like the yolk nearby from the like the yolk membranes, and some of them from like the white membranes, and some like it's different all the time. They do it different all the time. But for whatever reason, they're flexible enough to do it. So a lot of papers were like, we should go study this because we'll figure out why the reptilian ancestor of mammals did it, or how they did it. And they're like, fuck, actually, they're all crazy and they all do it totally different every time. So it's just like they just can do it. So they just fucking do. They bring it out. I just don't like winking dinosaurs, John. John says, Jessica demands realism, no Hollywood anthropomorphism. I'll take a little bit of it, but I swear to God, they were like, do you want to fight?
Whatever. She totally writes like dragon porno books. So
that's not realistic.
I'm pretty sure dragons did not
participate in porno. So anyway, where were we? I forget now. Do you have questions about any of this?
Could not even begin to have questions about any of this. Continue. I'm still waiting for the like, why do I give a fuck moment? Because there usually is one. Is there one today?
Maybe not.
Oh, okay. Keep going. Or was that it?
There's no like practical advice. This is why I give a fuck, because in 2021, Wang et al. Was like digging around in their Dion's rat snakes in China, and they're like, this is weird. And they found I know it's hard to tell. These are, since Dion's rat snakes have very short incubation times, like 30 days or something crazy, because they live somewhere cold, right? So they found a Dion's-ish rat snake looking thing that they literally thought was a Dion's, that retains the eggs the whole time and has these really thin shelled eggs that are like in-betweeners right now that hatch live babies. They've done it. We've like have real time.
How many?
Like, I think she had like
no. Once they birth them, like how long till they bust out of their shells? Like immediately?
I think they said it like immediately. Like you can see they're like spilling out. So like the process of laying them. So this is like a perfect in-betweener that's showing you like what happens is there's more and more internal development in the female. She provides more and more oxygen, but the yolk is still there. And eventually it switches to like a thin shell that they burst out of immediately, because there's not enough. These ones live up on a mountain somewhere, so they're kind of high latitude and on a mountain, so they had to blast out right away. And then you get more and more placenta development and less eggs. So this is like real time. We found it, a smoking gun of like the in-between state for snakes. And this is an Alafe, like one of my favorite genuses. That's a live bear. What the fuck? It's the only one in the genus who does that. Didn't even know it existed until I Googled it. And I was like, wow, how exciting is the natural world that it has so much fun flavors in it for us to enjoy.
So are those kind of snakes available or only seen in the wild?
I've never.
Or is this the only one?
They were literally just discovered. So someone would have to go there and poach them. I don't know if there's legal collection of this species.
Okay.
But it implies that like there could be other stuff that we think, like this looks just like a Dion's rat snake, that we think is something that is getting ready to do this. And I think there are some skinks that actually can switch back and forth, like in the same animal.
So are you saying like this line of whatever you say it, snakes switched at some point and have maintained that separate from the main population of snakes that still does eggs?
So they key out the same in terms of like scale count and stuff, but they're actually like they've drifted genetically. So like when they did some genetic stuff, so they're far enough apart that they get a full species status, Ganziensis.
But then they probably share an ancestor.
Fuck yeah, they're like the same thing. They did indeed just like bust off, and we're like, we're on a mountain and we're cold. Not today, Satan. And so they're like, we got to do live birth because we can't do anything else. I just thought this was really exciting. I don't know if any of this has like practical impacts on your husbandry, but like your snakes are extremely complicated and extremely cool. So, let's go. Let's learn about that.
Well, what you're also saying too is that there's niches of live bearings that you wouldn't expect to be live bearers. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to talk about monkey tail skinks, but I never got around to it because they have like. We'll probably do a whole episode because they're kind of like the most Christian skinks that I know of. Okay.
What are they like, mate for life or something?
Basically, and then they take care of their little babies and they feed them.
Well, they're like a family.
Little poop pellets that like have beneficial bacteria to get their babies going, like that are like pre-digested nugs, which sounds gross, but cows and horses and elephants and everybody else does this, so it's not that weird. There's first poop and second poop, Jana. Remember that from rabbits? Nope, Jana forgot. But so there's a little family of
a little poop eating family helping their babies probiotic their stomach.
Right, but they're like taking care of them and getting ready to go. Like, why isn't that our like flagship species for the hobby? They have all the conservative values in the bag, okay, including eating poop, I guess.
They go that extra mile for their family.
But a lot of people are like, snakes are dumb or lizards are dumb or whatever. But they have these very, mammal-like tendencies that I think would, instead of being like they're dumb, they're actually like fucking cool, and they're just like, they're like us. They're they have a placenta like us. To me, this should be like a way to gender people to them. Obviously, some of them lay eggs.
They're not as different as we think they are.
Right. We're all like, we're all brothers and sisters from another mother. Okay. We're all in this together. So you can promote your animals based on these properties to me. And it's fucking cool as shit. Like, I don't know how to like manipulate a skink into becoming viviparous or if that matters, because it actually like makes you like a less efficient species. Like boas don't breed as often because it's a lot more work to be a boa than it is a ball python. So in terms of like raw production, but I like boas because they have live birth. Like, I don't know that's why women are weirdly attracted to live bears anyway, because we're all like,
they're like, it's so magical.
There's like a programming thing happening here.
Yeah.
So I think if we highlighted these features of their natural history and biology, it might be good marketing, because we need marketing right now more than ever. That's good, not bad. That said, is there any questions? I don't know. I don't know if that was too much, not enough, or terrible.
It was a little complicated.
Well, the answer is baby snakes and lizards are born in a way that is very similar to mammals, but not exact. That's the synopsis, and it's cool that happens.
Okay.
Let's do our second ad as a palate cleanser, because Jana needs it.
Yeah. Gray Family Snakes, a sponsor of the Whole Back Rack podcast. Thank you for sponsoring us. They are still doing their merch profits go to the eye surgeries in Africa, and they're going to travel there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is just like a really cool cause. We talked about this last week, but if you didn't catch that, Jessica and I have had many conversations about how we are using their natural resources, and we're in a very rich and modern civilization, and they're in a very poor civilization, and we're taking their resources, and it's important. I think for good ethics and for like the balance of life that we give back. And this is a program that instead of just flying doctors down to do the eye surgeries, it's educating and teaching their own people how to perform these eye surgeries. So it's a skill that can be passed down for generations. It's a skill that they are continuing to use. Like they have that skill now, and they're changing lives. And that I feel like is like such a good rounded experience that the Greys are doing this charity, because I feel like it's literally giving back, as we have enjoyed many privileges of owning and breeding and selling ball pythons. We're giving back to that community and enriching it as well.
Hell
Did I say that good?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Check them out on the Instagrams, and their link to that thing is on this thing.
And they're going in May, and hopefully they'll take pictures or maybe a video or something so that we can vicariously experience that with them. And then also we are sponsored by Chris at BNS Reptilia. He is doing a sale for us, so you have to hear it here.
Wow.
60% off shipping off any 22 baby.
That's a good deal. Shipping
is
is
a really freaking good deal.
Right now.
That is literally like $60 off. Literally like percent per dollar. Through April 30th. Buy two and get free shipping through April 30th. His colubrids are being paired, so make sure you're watching to see if something catches your eyes. Also doing MBKs, albino northern pines, black pines, Louisiana pines, southern Lucy pines, and northern Mexican pines. So if you see something you like, make sure you message him and say that you want the holdback rack deal.
That's gonna be awesome.
It's just for our listeners. That's right. I don't know if he's gonna post it on his page. I'm just
Chris, if you're still here, do you have Depe Jana or Depe?
He's still here, but he's
all right. You write that later.
And then Herp Collectors is here. And
Shane was on Herp Collectors. I guess we didn't talk about that.
I meant to. I got distracted by Tinley. Yeah, so Shane was on. I caught the end of it. Seemed like a really good interview. I'd like to go back and catch all of it. But Herp Collectors does an amazing job at interviewing. So if you guys missed that, make sure you head over to Herp Collectors after this and catch Shane Kelley's interview. And also he's interviewed a lot of our sponsors. So just go check him out. If you're not following him, make sure that you go and you subscribe and catch up, because he's done a lot of really great interviews lately.
Good job.
And then last,
Chris says, Jana, hold on. You might have to send me a couple hundred.
She would like to buy two, get free shipping.
I just love Jana a lot. They're not even available yet, but just send me the adults.
She's fine. Buying them while they're still in utero.
I'm in. They're so good. Everybody Google it.
Also, he is not going to be at Tinley. He's going to be at Gettysburg Expo, and then next week he's going to be at the Oaks PA Expo. So if you are in the tri-state area and are going to that, make sure you stop by and say hi to Chris. And then last but not least, Bravo Zulu, Eileen, our only female, help me out, my brain just went totally blank. Sponsor. I mean, Laura Gray, they're like a family sponsor. But anyway, so she is a veteran woman breeder, and her husband and her will have a table at Tinley this weekend. He isn't a snake guy, but he does some really cool stuff with gemstones statues. So they've combined their two loves for a table at Tinley. So she'll have snakes and he'll have gemstones. If you see their table, make sure you stop by and let them know that you heard about them on the whole back rack.
Is this a xenomorph snail? Or a xenomorph in some other condition? It looks like a snail, but also a xenomorph. I need to know. Please.
Eileen, if you're listening, she's not speaking English again. Help me. I don't even know what she's saying.
Aliens. Xenomorph. That's what. Jana, I can't take you anywhere. Yeah. Eileen, please tell me. All right. AJ asked a question a long time ago. Tanzania produced last year that babies shed almost immediately after birth. Any thoughts on this? To me, I think, and Doomerals and ground boas and stuff do this too. That means that they're like the next level. They've held them the whole way, and so they come out ready to eat potentially, instead of like
they can
having
shed
to
and just be
continue
on
to
their
absorb
way.
their yolk.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I think. I don't have any evidence
ready
for
to
that.
run from the predators. Ready to run.
And then Blazing Blue Tongue says that's why everyone needs a northern blue tongue. Yeah, I think everyone needs at least some kind of skink, because I think, I mean, maybe I'm like getting soft in my old age or something, but it's easier to convince someone to like a lizard than a snake that's like a normie, because they're like, it looks like a weird dog, a blue tongue or whatever. So like maybe we should be having.
They also eat like grocery store food.
Right. And you don't want it to be as hard to care for as a bearded dragon. So if you had like an ambassador animal that was a blue tongue that was good at that, or something like that, maybe we would be doing a better job like opening the door a crack to Normans out there. All right. We did it. Check out all of our sponsors. Thank you for sponsoring.
We love you.
All right, Jana. Now, we have a little bit of news, but not a lot. How do you feel about news?
Fuck the news forever. I do want to take a second just to once again send healing vibes out to Brian Barczyk. If you are not following his story, he has updates on his channel. He is currently fighting pancreatic cancer, which has really crappy outlooks. So if everybody could just send them positive energy, and if you feel angry and don't want to send positive energy, then at least don't open your mouth. But his family really needs just some love and support, and I feel like he's done a lot for this industry, whether you agree with it or not. That is a fact. And they need positivity, not angry, rude comments. So just making sure that you guys know what's going on, and if you have positive things to say or contribute, make sure that you're doing that so that they can feel that community's love and support.
Yeah, he did his like, I'm selling all my colubrids video today, and I did check PHB website. A lot of them have sold, but if you are interested in like, they're selling them as groups, so like, and sometimes singles, but mostly groups, like a pack of king snakes or whatever, like 1, 2, and so there's still some available if people are interested. So obviously they're brumated, so you can get them
ready to go.
Whatever, crypto swap, test them, and launch, like breed them in your quarantine, basically.
Set them up in their own area, yeah.
So that would be cool. So check it out, BHB Reptiles. Hopefully he makes it through. I don't know.
And keeping the spirits up. And the haters are gonna shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, like I don't care if you don't like him or you don't agree with him. Like there's never any reason to like hate on someone who's fighting cancer. Like I'm sorry, there's just, that should never happen, guys. And it's disappointing when it happens in the hobby that I love.
All right, here's something that I thought was cool. I think US Art Florida shared this, but they're using stable isotopes in wild and captive turtles to determine if wild poached turtles are being washed as captive bred through states where it's legal and then sold legally, like pretending that they were whatever.
So when you say washed, do you mean like when somebody is like washing their money?
Yeah.
Like legitimizing it, by saying it's captive bred?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
happens. I was just clearing that up.
Go ahead. Non-zero amount of times. But they can use like toenail clippings to determine if the isotopes in the this was like a test to see if they could tell which ones were wild caught and which ones were captive, because like the carbon isotopes in the wild are different than what is in like commercially available
water
and food. Yeah. So they were 97.2% accurate at predicting just based on isotopes. Obviously, that would go down through time as the turtle's body changes.
Right. But the little babies, they can go and check and confirm if someone's...
Yeah, or like an old turtle, because it would have laid down old carbon like 20 years ago. But this was actually about Glyptometes and Sculpta. So like wood turtles, my favorite turtle.
Oh yeah, you did your master's on them.
Yeah. And it's the only peer-reviewed paper I've ever published. It's the shittiest wood turtle paper of all time, but it exists. I actually did it. They get poached a lot. That's why.
Jessica!
It is a xenomorph snail.
I freaking hate your
Zulu
face.
has confirmed it.
She knew what you were saying.
That's awesome. I want one. Send me. I love xenomorphs. I almost made that.
Wait, is it real or is it like a statue of a xenomorph snail?
There's a statue that she said she's making the resin art.
Right.
Yeah. I almost made the thumbnail like Squamates are queens and had a picture of like the queen xenomorph, but then like the topic got narrowed more and more and more, and I was like, fuck, I gotta change the thumbnail to like something more generic about placentas, because it wasn't really about being a queen, which Squamates are queens, by the way, in case you were wondering. The boys are mid, but girls much cooler.
I like the species that eat their mates after. I'm down for that. Yeah. Yum, dinner. I think that's a great adaptation. Like, oh, if we don't have enough food or resources, I'll just gobble you up and now we're good to go.
Problems all collectively solved. So check out this paper. It just means that like we're not gonna be able to wash, not that you or I do that, or our chat, who are all law-abiding citizens, but
always
they're gonna figure out that we're washing these animals through legal states. So fucking stop doing it. Like, I couldn't publish the location of my study site in any of the papers or reports because people would just go steal them all the time.
Sick. Yeah.
Leave turtles alone, you fucking nuggets. Sorry, I got excited. Guess what? Liam found us.
He found you. I was very selectively muted, which was probably
I don't think
for the
you
best.
were muted.
Oh, I get to say what I feel.
Okay, you say what you feel.
I was definitely, anybody that's seen this video definitely censored me. I'm feeling censored right now.
For the record, I don't feel like you were censored. I just feel like he picked what I said more. I guess does that count as censored?
For like 2 minutes.
I don't want him to get mad at us.
That hard to just joke around and be fun.
I don't know. I'm scared. When Paul sent it to me, yeah. When Paul sent it to me, I'm like, oh no.
Vampire Night. Okay.
I think I have watched it a long time ago, though.
Going on the list.
Well, he was very nice to us, and I appreciate that. Please don't hate me ever, because I'm scared of your clients. Let me put it that way. That's my honest opinion. Because Liam, like, if a rack person is mad at Liam, I don't think they're going to go take down your account. But I feel like there are hysterical pet people that we have proven
wield some power.
Well, just wield, like, a sense of entitlement and authority where they're like, you're an animal abuser, fuck you, no matter what. Like, so I don't think Liam is like that, or Dylan, because Dylan came and commented on our live later. And he's like, I would never condone that behavior or whatever. I know, but like, your crowd is a little bit more retaliatory, just frankly. So that's why I was like scared to do our talk. But I thought I tried to convey myself as respectfully as possible, and I'm glad you recognized that. Thank God.
No, I think you did a great job, and I think that he saw that you did a great job and acknowledges that, like, you understood the assignment. Like, you understood what he was trying to convey. And instead of like getting defensive about how you were keeping, you were like, what can we do with how we are keeping to improve neural elasticity? That's the right word, right?
Plasticity.
Plasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
In our snakes that are kept in racks that we need to keep in racks. And there are ways to do more if you want to do more. And I think that was the big takeaway, is that you heard him and you said there is a way to do more without changing your setup.
Yeah, and I think he knows that too. But I think there's like a marketing problem on their end where they're like, break the rack cycle. But then like he obviously knows that commercial facilities keep them in racks, and he knows babies are kept in racks for at least a time because there's too many. It's just like a fact of life. He knows that. I just think some of his listeners maybe are like, no racks ever under any circumstance. And so like they get like really intense about it.
Yeah.
And we don't need to be that intense about it. We need to be like moderate and working on improving.
Correct.
To me,
I agree. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be hysterical. I mean, I am an hysterical woman. I could faint at any time from vapors.
Don't give her the access launch codes. She's gonna nuke everybody. Hysterical woman.
I just think that we can like be chill about it and like do a little better. Okay. Like I don't think that's an insane take. And
Jessica, calm down.
I know.
Don't you love it when men say that to you?
I
like,
fucking want to drown them in a pool.
Deck them. Yes. Like, I'm going to just smother you with this pillow right now. Do not fucking ever tell a woman to calm down.
Well, and then the other thing that was funny is that, like, I think PJ pointed this out. It's like, are these the progressive ball python breeders? And it was all of our stupid faces. And besides, I do breed ball pythons, but no one else breeds ball pythons except for Bob. Green room pythons.
Okay, that's what I thought you were.
But he wasn't in the video. So it was like, look at all these progressive ball python breeders. Most of them don't breed ball pythons. Bob.
Moving on.
All right, it's fine. No, but I appreciate the shout out. Thank you, Liam. That video is actually like taken off because Liam linked it. So I like that. Thank you. Like this one won't take off because
it's funneling views to ours. Oh, that was nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. He said everybody go watch it, and a lot of people did, and they didn't get like fucking downvote bombed or whatever. It's almost at 1,000 views, which is pretty good for us because we suck ass.
Do not suck ass. Rude. I don't suck ass. You can suck ass. Well, I mean, like, never mind.
keep your cards closer to your chest.
Actually, I do that.
Do we want to look at all these? Did you see this video? My favorite is, I like the Hurricane Pompane. It's not ruined by Desert Ghost. Here it is. This was just Canova's top 5 Hurricane regular Pompeii. Although I've seen crunchier Pompeis from him that weren't anything else. But this one is clearly better.
Yeah, the one on the right is amazing. The one on the left.
It's great, let's be honest. But this is better.
Way better. It would be gorgeous and I'd be loving it if it wasn't sitting next to the really busy pixelated one.
This is the lace cypress. I think it's mostly Pompeii. I don't know. They're starting to look the same. Like lace clown combos. Is that bad?
They're starting to run together. Yes, it's bad. It means we need to move in a different direction to get some variety.
And then his real number 1, which Wes sent me a message about, and I agree, Wes. Wes said, like, is this kind of boring? It's obviously hard to hit and good. It's the DJ Hypo Clown Pied over here.
Wait, so they're quad visuals?
Yeah. So, like, statistically, it's cool that he hit it.
The one on the right is hypo as well, or they're both that? Because the one on the right looks hypo, the one on the left doesn't.
This is just DG Clown Pied. This one's DG Hypo Clown Pied.
Okay, good, because that's what my eyes were telling me. It's amazing and it's a fucking powerhouse, but it's not like cream in my panties or anything.
Right? Isn't that weird that it'd be like the whole point is like it looks great, but like that much work.
50 years culminating. Yeah, I mean that's like a.
And you're just like, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I get.
I mean,
Like,
I think the reason
conclusion
that it's amazing is not about looks; it's about genetic powerhouse, like its ability in the breeding program to like change a lot. I mean, it's just like such a phenomenal contributor that even if it doesn't look good, it's
I mean, it looks
more
good.
than just a building block of a project. Like now you can start hitting a lot of things with all those hats that he has.
I just think no one should put Pied in any quads. To me, maybe at this point.
Yeah, it should be Desert Ghost, Hypo, G-Stripe Clown, bitches.
Yeah, maybe like that. At least there's like more to do or whatever there. 4 or 3 fun agrees. Pies in general are dull. Gotta go. I don't know. I don't know. It's sort of like if the terminal like coolest clown pie combo is this one or whatever, is that like worth fighting for? Like that's what I'm getting at. Not that it isn't cool, but like who if this is like as cool as it gets, then you're like, fuck. You just want to like I just want to go do something else, right?
That's the base though. There's no other like codoms and shit. So there's so much to do with this. This is just like literally the blank palette of a quad recessive visual.
It's boring. I'm
mean,
not inspired to like put anything in it. To me, like because it's really reduced. There's very little pattern on it. The head is barely clown looking at this point. You even if you're like add NG, add blackhead, add like the best of the best pied includers.
Well, yeah, like what if he puts like Hurricane in that? Because Hurricane did some cool shit.
I'm still not sure if that was Hurricane's fault or the fact they were shark mouth developmental ones. Remember?
Oh, I didn't know they had shark mouth.
Mm-hmm. But it's good. I just like eyeball test. I like the Hurricane Pompeii better. Just the raw appeal. And then
it's just like it's hard to like get past that initial draw of the pied.
Okay. I was never like pied to begin with, even though it was fine. So like I didn't like convert hard and then like pull out. My pull-out game strong, Jana.
I have got weak pull-out game.
And then a last weird bit of news: Ludwig had a animal tuber type person come on who had a. She has like a sanctuary. She's an employee of a sanctuary, and so they did a live stream 2 weeks ago about like him interacting with lots of exotic animals that were rescues and stuff, and then eating their food. So he ate everything except for a raw, like mouse or rat, because there was a coastal carpet in here somewhere. But it was funny. Got to interact with lots of animals, and it was.
Why did he have to eat what they eat? I don't get it.
YouTuber. He did a tier ranking. He's just being funny. So he ate like the crow food and the fox food.
Gross. That's disgusting.
It wasn't like. What we need is like someone to do this every day. We need an attractive keeper person and a popular influencer every day to produce a viral video about some sort of
yeah, get on that somebody.
Politically correct, keeping video. Like I gave this influencer their first baby ball python and it's so cute. We need that right away, desperately. Somebody in SoCal just stand around Los Angeles and find influencers on the street. Just be like, do you want a gecko? I got a gecko in my pocket. And they're like,
and it's happy to see you. And they're gonna get like tase you and arrest you.
Are you wearing a trench coat? Yeah, but it's actually just full of geckos.
Actually, it's just full of ball pythons. Whoosh.
Yeah, the ball python industry is in desperate need of Emily, Snake Discovery. Hey, if you would do like a most boopable ball python video for me, please, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Because they're really the numbers are going down on morph market, but not
She
fast
did
enough.
talk a bunch about corn snakes. Maybe that's why your corn snake sales have gone
Oh
up.
hell yeah! The corn snake's been blasting out the door. Thank you. Hashtag blessed. But we need like a boopable ball python video or something from somebody.
Yeah, Kayla, get on that.
I mean, she's doing it.
With
Kayla needs to do YouTube. What the heck? That's all the news. There hasn't been a lot going on because we're getting ready for Tinley. My question is, like, should we do like a post Tinley wrap up? Like, find somebody who wants to report back, like Shane or somebody. But his schedule is a little weird. Or Eileen.
Eileen, do you want to do a post?
Yeah, you haven't done one.
I'll message her. I don't know if she's still listening. Yeah. So do you guys want to hear post Tinley wrap up from vendor point of view, or from somebody who's going, or you don't give an F? Like, let us know.
Mm-hmm. I'd say pretty much. Let's do a quick collection update or long. I don't give a shit. But so corn snakes have been blasting out the door hard for really like 5 weeks. Ball pythons, nothing. So I'm having to like decide if I want to like save corn snakes for the show, the Reptile Nation show, because I'm just bringing corn snakes and boas to that. But ball python wise, I think I'm at like 5 females that are like 20 and a bunch that are now like officially 15, 17 or whatever. And I haven't 2 or 3 ovulations that are pretty soon. But now I'm like, can't sell ball pythons though.
I know, and everybody's like, I still have yet to pair any ball pythons this season.
Why? What are you doing? Are you gonna not pair?
They're not building, and they got all screwed up from
getting moved outside.
Yeah, and so it's just like nobody's doing anything. So right now I'm just trying to fatten them up like I would normally do in the fall, and I'm hoping that they all start building in the summer. And I'm actually totally fine with that, because I think my acid clone will be ready by then, and so my pairing will be significantly better. And so everybody's like, aren't you sweating bullets? And I'm like, nope. I think I'd be sweating bullets if I had like 25 clutches coming.
Yeah, I did. Shane did tell me, I don't know if this is a secret now, I'm revealing all of your secret shit, but his wholesaler was like, we have a limit of 175 grams too. I'm like, fuck, maybe this is like a standard for like the national wholesalers.
I think that's
I wish they would fucking say that out loud, like in the ad. Like, it's not in any ad. Like, my maximum size threshold.
Telling you have to know the secret inside handshake and all that secret inside information, and the ad is just to make you feel bad about yourself because you're definitely
going to
get a contract with them.
Like, we obviously still need ball pythons to go to pet homes or whatever, right?
Right.
But like, we have like a really insane inefficiency and suppliers that don't want to fucking tell you anything or buy snakes. Like, if there was like a marketplace where they could be like, post everything you have instead of sending me an email generically, and I will pick and choose what my pet stores want. Like, what if the pet store's like, fuck, I'm just like blowing out albinos this week, just this week, so they could only buy albinos that are in the volumes they need from the albino people, instead of like buying whatever shit from whoever and like placing it, but then like waiting for emails from randos. What if they just really need albinos? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand why we have such an insane, inefficient wholesale market. Maybe morph market idea time.
This needs a wholesale tab.
Right. That you log in with your EIN to prove that you're like a business human and not a flipper.
Yeah, and the wholesalers can like post want ads, and you can
and you can post your lots.
Yeah,
you know, I have 15 albino ball pythons of different genders that are over 175. Like, maybe some people are okay with it, but how the fuck does anybody know if it's all like a secret? I don't know. It just seems weird.
Hush, hush, back alley, secret handshake, have to know someone, have to fuck someone, have to.
I literally hate it. Like, this is the part of the hobby that's like the
Pants
worst.
on one foot. Recite
Maybe it's not
the
the worst.
ABCs
There's
backwards.
other worse parts.
It's really it's ridiculous. And even then, even after you've done all that, they're still not going to tell you the person's name. So then you feel like you're doing like a drug exchange because you don't know where your snakes are going, but they're going through this like third party. It's ridiculous, and it's like I completely don't understand at all how to get into
have you ever logged into somebody's like back end that's a wholesale with live animals, and they're like, it's like so that a pet store could go buy like one of a couple different things, so it'll have like a shopping cart system, and those prices aren't really that good, honestly. They're still kind of expensive, so they're getting their margins, but like, why couldn't Morph Market do that? Morph Market be like the wholesale arm. And so, like if you had a bunch of cheap stuff, you could be like,
I doubt he's listening, but if he is, this is a killer idea.
Here's my like variety pack. I have 10 male baby ball pythons of 10 different morphs that are $50 a head if you buy all 10. If you only want to buy 5, they're $75 a head plus shipping. And so you could sell these like really economical groups that make sense for a mom and pop pet store to buy.
Tell us how you really feel.
Lou Ball says that's stupid, audio people.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, I know we complain about it a lot, but it's something I think about because like
it is really frustrating, guys. It's so frustrating. Because you know it's out there, you don't exist. You know, lots of people have contracts, you know, lots of people are doing, some people just only wholesale. And it's like, it would be nice if you could have the right connections to get into that world, but it seems like there's no way to get into that world. And I mean, I have nice boobs. So
I know that doesn't even count.
That doesn't get me there. Nope.
So like, since I can't take ball pythons to Reptile Nation, should I do the OKC show? That's the thing I've been like wrestling with for weeks. What do you think, Jana? Tell me.
I thought you really wanted to do that show, and you got in, even though there's a huge wait list because you don't want to bring.
Right, but I have ball pythons that need to go away. So do I do the Oklahoma City show the week before and do back-to-back shows, which suck?
I hate doing back-to-back shows.
I do too.
But yeah, I mean, are you just going to take ball pythons to the first show?
Right, but taking ball pythons to a show that's full of ball pythons.
Oh, yeah.
And then
no, you need to just wholesale them.
I know, but how do I wholesale them?
I don't know.
And I think some of them are getting too big. So now it's like I feel pinched in a way that I'm like not feeling good about. And so I was like, maybe I should take something to the Oklahoma City show so I sell literally something.
Someone's saying you need to go because they want to see you and they need balls. I don't know
if it's my balls.
Who wants your lady balls? I don't know what's happening right now.
I have.
She'll ship them to you right now.
No, I would think about like it's not like hard to vend there because usually just like I just need a table and they usually have extra tables, so you can do it last minute. But I'm just like, should I bring any babies to a show that has that much competition ball python wise while still saving my boas and my corn snakes for Reptile Nation? I'm just not sure. I was like, maybe I should buy like, you know, some cork bark and some spider wood, like wholesale pallets, and just be like, I'm also the wood person now.
Or you could bring like stuffed snakes or those like gecko-y things that you were talking about.
Yeah, I could, but now I'm like running out of time to decide. I just like, if I go, I don't know, you know, back-to-back shows and all that bullshit, it fucking sucks. And then the next show is July. So I want to keep baby ball pythons from last year till July. Yeah, I was thinking about doing the show me next weekend now. Specifically to vend ball pythons.
Is it expensive to go? Is it close?
It's $100, but it's far enough away I would need a hotel.
Oh, I wouldn't do it. That's too much stress for me to do back to back that far away.
And like the next one is harder because it's 3 hours away or whatever. Stick people hustle at shows for real. I know. And I think I could make it funny. Like I know
Stick people
who sell wood.
Oh. Okay, sorry, I needed a minute to catch up.
When I was in Arlington, Pangea had like pallets of just cork, and they're like fill a cork with like sort of smaller pieces, and they're like fill a bag for $15, and they were sold the fuck out. People just came up, was like, that's a great idea, and they had like literally pallets that they rolled out just like cork pieces, fill a bag, $15. I'm like, so you're not gonna make a ton of money, but at least you'll like have something to do while you're waiting around for your stupid fucking ball pythons to sell.
Yeah. Yep. I feel that so hard.
I don't know. If someone wants to give me good advice. How far away is Odessa, John? I don't even know. I should probably Google it. It can't be that far away. What's going on with you, Jana? Anything? You getting ready for another show?
No, my show is until the end of April. Down in Portland, so I'm not gearing up for that yet. I am gearing up for finals, and my dad was recently in the hospital, and I just got a lot going on, but it's all gonna be gravy. It's fine.
But you're not. What about the king snakes? What are they doing?
So I said I got them out of brumation, but that was more like I meant to that weekend and then didn't. So they actually came up like less than a week ago, and like on Sunday, and so they need a meal today or tomorrow. And then I'll start watching for sheds and stuff.
John Philly says 5 hours. That's kind of a trek to sell just a couple ball pythons, isn't it? He said he sold 10 last time.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's what we do up here. That's not usual for down by you, right?
I don't know. Like I've heard weird, different stuff. I was next to Pineapple Xotics last herp show, and he's like, I sell everything better in Texas than in Oklahoma. And I'm like, isn't this like basically the same idea? He's like, yeah, but there's something about Texas. They're just like more into it. Or it could have been like that time of year for the October show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, maybe I'm like leaving money on the table or whatever, not doing the show and trying it out in the spring because it's at a new location. Do vendors ever share a hotel if they're doing weird stuff?
That's not true. I've shared a hotel with the person I always share a table with, but it was us and our kids. We each had a kid with us, and we got a room with 2 king-size beds. So we each were with our kid in a bed, not each other. But yeah, you definitely can.
Stuff. Weird furry stuff.
No furry stuff. No weird stuff. It was totally family friendly. But yeah, I mean, you can.
No, I don't mind the expense. Okay, I don't mind the expense of the table. I don't mind the expense of the hotels because they're all pretty cheap. And I don't mind driving there. That part, and I can do the work. It's just like I will have to re-quarantine all of those ball pythons and then do what with them? Still probably wholesale them anyway. So like that's what's confusing me. So if I don't make at least $500, I'll still have to retreat them all for mites and then wholesale them anyway. Like so might as well just. But how do you find a wholesaler that wants your slightly too big ball pythons? Stoneage is here.
Hi, Stoneage.
What's up?
Cuddle Time says that she would share with female because she's a female. Yeah, I mean, you just have to ask around, and once you vended shows, you start to like find your crowd and like the people that you like to vend with, and you absolutely could do that. But usually the hotel isn't the big.
Bohemian said they think it'll be better than the last show. I did have people like text me and it's like, "Are you going to be there?" And I'm like, "I have no idea."
Just suck it up and do it.
But these are people who want corn snakes. So do I take some corn snakes anyway? I've sold so many corn snakes now. I'm actually worried.
If you take,
I'm not going to have enough corn snakes.
If you take everything, based on your quarantine system, can you then take it to the next show, or everything that went to the first show can't go to the second show? How does your system work?
I don't know.
Girl, it's not that complicated. Take everything to both shows, and what sells, and you say thank you.
I can't take ball
God.
pythons to Reptile Nation because they're very specific. Like, don't bring anything you weren't approved to take.
Oh, well, yeah. I just mean the first show. Don't leave anything back to save for this. I mean, sold is sold. Like, I don't know why you would.
Well, I only have like 40 baby corn snakes left. If I even sell 10 there, I won't have very much on my table.
30 is a lot. And how many boa babies do you have?
Maybe like 10. It isn't a lot. I've been selling 3 or 4 a week. I feel like I'm gonna run out of inventory for Reptile Nation.
You're not.
We'll see.
It's gonna be fine. Take everything to that show, and then the boas and corns to the next show. It'll be fine.
Well, we will have to do probably a pre-recorded one, at least for the episode that's on the 31st.
Do you want me to read that?
Yeah.
John Feely says the Odessa is a fairly new and untapped. The people there are really interested. It's mostly a ball python show, and you will get some colubrids and some hots and various other things. So it's like a new market. So you might want to scurry in there.
Who runs it? Show me. I'm assuming show me. Mickey. All right, I think we're just dragging this little fucker out. So let's finish it off. Thank you for coming, everybody. I have no idea what I'm doing. My dog is scratching at the door of my office, and hopefully you learned something today, or you didn't learn anything, and that's fine too. You know.
And if you liked it, comment below. If you hated it, comment below. If you hated it, make sure you have constructive suggestions for an episode you wouldn't hate. Like, subscribe, all the shit. Do it. Love you. We'll see you next week.
Hopefully with like a fun Tinley, Eileen, or somebody just like chatty one.
Yes.
That would be fun to me.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.